Hey everyone, good morning and welcome. I'm Leslie Hassler with Your Biz Rules Business Coaching. We're here for a little morning routine, if you will, which seems to be a really good thing for today. I'm right on topic. So I'm going to have to get myself a desk tripod because half the time lately I come on and something's running in the background on my computer and won't let me access my mic and camera. So apologize for the little bit of fidgetedness, whatever that is. So anyways, good morning to you. It's 8, and I know, the typical work day starts at 8, 8 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 6, whatever that is. But really, what's a typical work day? And we're going to kind of talk a little bit about this because Business Week, I've been joking. I've been telling my clients I got the Business Week for this week. I haven't had a chance to read it, but the cover says not in the mood. And I was like, oh, isn't that the truth? Like, people aren't just in the mood. And my brain, where I took it, was not what the article's about. The article is about procreation, which actually does have a big impact on our economy, but that's another time. But I just thought it was funny because that whole not in the mood seems to be very prevalent. And the longer that we're in this kind of wait and see, hold, things change so fast kind of period, the more I see people not in the mood. So conditionally, I find that people are really having a hard time moving forward, having a hard time getting into the groove, if you will. And part of that is because it seems like every 3 days something's different. And so you make a decision and then it changes. And then you really get locked into this, these little flyaways. You really get locked into this position of, well, why does it matter? Why does it matter if I'm just going to have to redo it here in 2 days? And it feels like you're spinning your wheels. Nobody really enjoys spinning our wheels, right? But we're back to school's coming upon us. I made my selection yesterday for the kids. There's no good answer. Hopefully this will be what works out the best, but it's really a commitment of faith. And it's really just a commitment of faith. So we're staying virtual. I've seen too much of this turn into politics, and I'm like, yeah, this is my kids' lives. This is my health. This is our family health. We're just going to play it a little safer until we can actually see a little bit. And I suppose that's what we're doing in our business. I mean, that was just what I was talking about, right? We're playing it safe. Well, we always have a summer slump. Summer slumps definitely are a part of our rhythms to business and to life. And typically, when a business relaxes that much in the summer, it shortchanges you by about 25 to 30% of what you would have been able to achieve, because for the most part, your momentum gets run down. Like, your momentum it falls back. And so you have to rebuild it come school time. So naturally, when school comes in, business tends to get more focused. And that's what I see. It's not that it has to be that way, but that's just the rhythm and the reaction that we get into. When you choose to be a little more strategic, you can still relax. You can still go on your trips. You can still take Fridays off and be with your family and do whatever you would like to do I want to enjoy the summer. Not a problem. But there's a different intention. Like, you're not intending to slump. And so as we get back into the back to school season, there's some things we can do that actually work to our advantage. And so I wanted to talk about that, because really what it is we need to get back to some semblance of a routine. The hardest thing is having too much time. I really do think. And part of it, if you think about it, is if you've got 5 hours to fulfill a deadline, you likely, you're going to take those 5 hours, right? If you have 90 minutes to do a deadline, likely you're going to get it done in 90 minutes, right? We as humans tend to fill to the space or the time that we have. So you have a lot of time on your hands, and it's probably not being fully taken advantage of. So what we want to do is we want to kind of come back from the summer slump. We want to stop that in our business. We want to get routine back in our business so that we actually are making headway, even in times like this. I was thinking about this morning. Externally, there's so much out of our control, right? Cannot force people to come into your establishment. You cannot force people to be able to buy. You cannot, we can't control what's out there, but we can control what's here. And so while out there is a little less in your control, oops, a little less in your control, in here and in here is in your control. And so this is valuable time, guys. It is, I've been preaching this, I think, for the last few months of this is the time that you are developing new products. This is the time that you're looking at your model and making advancements. This is the time that you're putting in change that you've needed to put in, but just have had so much resistance has been really difficult. This is such valuable time because if you can get this time to at least keep the engine running, so keep that momentum engine just humming when the gates open, and they will, right? When they open, you can go, you can shoot out of the gates and start to really get into your recovery. So here's what I want you to know. So to be more successful in business, don't you love that? I got that from a conversation earlier this week. Be more successful. So that's what we're naming this our time together is to be more successful. So to be more successful in your business, we need to understand that the nature of work has changed. I mean, if we don't know that by now, I don't know where you've been. It's been changing for a long time. We've just been resistant to accepting it, and it's here. It's here. So you can accept it and you can use it to your advantage, right? By a couple of things I'm going to tell you. So I want to give you a couple of concepts on how you can develop your routine. Number one size does not fit all. Everyone has their own biorhythms, their own times of the day that they are raring to go and the best mentally. Everyone has different demands on their time. You may have young kids, you may have older kids, right? There's no such thing as one size fits all. And I think when we adopt this whole 8 to 5, 9 to 6 kind of work habit, that's a one size fits all. So one of the concepts that really shifted things for me in my business, and especially with work-life balance for me, was this, I don't know, kind of light bulb moment that I was like, when I was in college, I got it all done. I just got it all done. I managed to work out. I managed to sleep. I managed to study. I managed to work. I managed to go to class. Like, but no semester was the same. I had my preferences. I preferred Tuesday, Thursday classes because I did not want to go to class on Friday, right? I preferred morning classes over afternoon classes, right? But sometimes I had to have afternoon classes. I had my preferences. I had what I wanted to achieve, and everything was kept in balance. So when I made my schedule, and I'm like, no, I love to work out at 3:00 in the afternoon, I would make everything else work around it. If you can think of really the time that you have, especially now, as about a return to college, meaning that you don't have to do necessarily 8 hours in one sitting to be able to be effective. I challenge the whole concept of 40 hours, but we won't get into that. That has to break down a lot of societal norms that we've been taught. But I find 30, 32 hours can actually be quite impactful for people. And you can get a lot of results done, but you've got to give yourself your permission. I just don't know that 60 and 80 is more productive or more effective than 40. I really don't, or even 32. I like 32. But think about this. Think about when you were in college, how you worked your schedule, how you plan things out. Okay, and use that more as a framework for establishing a new routine. I know since we're going to do virtual for the first 9 weeks, and I hope to goodness we can go back after that, but I know that I have to have checkpoints with my kids. I have to get up, and they're in high school, but I still just need to make sure they made it out of bed. Because they're boys. They like to sleep till noon, right? I need to make sure that they're at least accomplishing things. I don't micromanage, but they know I'm going to ask them what they accomplished today. Right? I want to know what you accomplished because I just want to see progress. Hey, good morning, Nikki. Oh, thank you. It is a great way to start the morning. So think about it that way. Second concept I want to give you out of our 3 concepts is work in chunks. So remember we talked about if you've got 5 hours to do something, you typically take those 5 hours. If you've got 90 minutes, you tend to take 90 minutes. So a lot of science has been put into effectiveness, and it is in chunks. And so if you think about it, I really think of things like a 15-minute chunk, 45-minute chunk, 90-minute chunks, and maybe even 3 hours, depending on what you're doing. If I'm in full writing mode and I've got to write an article, I know I need an hour. I'm not going to write it in anything less than that. It's not going to be impactful. I won't necessarily keep my train of thought through the entire article. So I know I need at least an hour. And that's a 60-minute block. But there's some things like, so I have this little planner I created for myself. And I have little ticky-tack things. The little things like what's on, most of this is personal right now, but I have to schedule an appointment for Edwin to get his driver's test. I need to send his helmet back to get it recertified. Don't ask me if we're doing football, but we figure we'll be ready. I need to add that on a plugin to my Outlook. I need to move bills. Yeah, I just have all this little ticky-tack stuff. A lot of that stuff can be done in 15 minutes. Like if I have a little 15-minute chunk, I know I'm just doing task-related things. Things are not requiring thought. But if I'm going to develop a new product, right, if I'm going to work on that, then I know I need 90 minutes. So we have a community that we're building, the Thrive and Flourish community, and there's a lot of part of it is lessons and strategies, and what is the strategy, how to use it, how do you know that it's right for you, and here's what you do. So really tactical type things, very practical. Well, if I work on that presentation and I work on that worksheet and then I work on the video, I know I need 90 minutes to 3 hours, depending on what the concept is. And I tend to work on a chapter at a time, so that can be multiple lessons. I know I need that bigger chunk, right? So if you think about really breaking up chunks and then assigning chunks to your tasks and to your to-do list, you start to get much more accomplished. Then assign some breaks, like get up from your desk, go outside, walk in the sun, go, oh, this is what it feels like to be outside, right? Have lunch away from your desk. All of these things help recharge, renew, and allow your brain to just keep processing the things that you're thinking on. Because as the owner, even if you're a solo guy or solo woman, you have so much strategic thought that you need to be processing. And that's really the value that you bring to the table, not whether or not you can file or take out the trash. Those are valuable, but it's not your skill set or what you really bring the most value to the table. And that kind of comes into our last point, number 3. My phone is reversed, and so it's really hard for me to see which way to go. Focus on what gets results. Right now, the biggest focus for a lot of business owners is survival, is cash flow, is client sales, client management, all of those things. Focus on what gets results, and then focus on what builds momentum. I think one of the biggest challenges we have is that for so many business owners, you're focused on today, meaning you're worried about the money that is going to come in today. And that puts you in a reactionary mode every time. Every time it puts you behind the 8 ball. if you can take care of today, because that's a reality, but you're also planting the seeds for tomorrow, for a month from now, from a year from now, right? Then you've got the ability to think a little differently. You've got the ability to develop. You've got the ability to move and create. And that is what is going to save you down the road. And I know that might feel like, Leslie, you are out of touch. I've got that story for you next week. We're going to talk about, am I out of touch? I'm not, but I'll tell you why. Um, this is the time. This is such valuable things that you need to be doing in your business. So we do have to think of through the future. We do need to be strategic. We do need to be effective. You do need to be productive. You'll feel so much better about your day and your week. And when I think for right now, especially celebrate the little wins. There's where is it? Where does that go? So on the front of my planning sheet, it says this week's 3 big goals, next week's 3 big goals. And then on the back, it's like, okay, what did I accomplish? What was it that I achieved? Because I honestly am so future thinking, I forget what I achieved. So I'll be like, I haven't done anything. And I have to actually keep track so that I can go back and go, actually, I did, and I achieved X, Y, and Z. So that's just a little bit of my brain. I have to bring myself back to the present, and that's one of my tools. So what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you say hi if you are watching live, and replay if you're watching replay. Today with the computer, I didn't get to send out our live notification, but I'll put the post back in here about how if you'd like to have live notifications the next time I go live, you're able to do that as soon as the computer fully warms up and wants to work with me. Obviously, it's not had its cup of coffee. But I hope you're going to have a great day. I've got a board meeting for a nonprofit that I sit on. I've got client meeting, a meeting with my intern, and I've got to do some videos. So that means I got to go take a shower and put on some makeup. So that's my day. And tomorrow's Friday. Oh my gosh. We actually have school things next week. Virtual band camp. It's going to be interesting. It'll be really interesting. I have 2 band. Okay, all my band moms and dads out there, you know what I mean? I'm like 2 hours of tuba and drums. Not tuba. Oh, they'll kill me if I said that. Trombone. Sorry, trombone. So 2 hours every day next week of trombone and percussion. I think I need to soundproof my room. I was looking, who has a good recommendation for noise canceling headphones, the ones that kind of go over your ears? Can't decide if I should get Beats, Bose, or Sony. I don't know. I'm still looking at it. Random thoughts. So that's it for today, guys. I'll be back next Tuesday morning. We're going to be talking about if I'm out of touch or not. It's going to be a fun conversation. So until then, may your week be profitable. May you enjoy this time with your family and really find that renewed fire in your belly for your business. Because we can do this. We'll make it through. We've made it through so much. We really have. If you've been in business and you've lasted 3, 5, 10 years, you've been through a lot, you can do this too. There's no worry in my world about that. So thanks for joining the Be More Successful show with Leslie Hassler, your host. And I'll be talking to you soon.